daughter?
She's 9 months.
So where's her father? What's going on with you guys?
He's in the hospital, so yeah, he's very ill, so I'm looking for like a stepfather.
Wait, so you broke up with him while he's in the hospital?
No, I didn't break up with him.
Were y'all not together when he went to the hospital?
Yeah, we're still together.
Wait, okay.
I'm looking for like just in case. A stepfather just in case.
Just in case if he passes away?
Right.
Are you serious?
Yes, Kendra. You have to have one in the chamber, Kendra. Come on now.
I chose this clip specifically for the women that cannot understand nor rationalize why we keep having conversations surrounding the woman being at the center of a lot of this chaos surrounding broken families. Now, I understand that it is uncomfortable, even triggering, to entertain the conversation that would suggest that the woman is at the center of a lot of the unfolding destructive and toxicity that's going on within the family. Don't get me wrong, there are men that are contributing to this as well, but we have to have the conversation around one gender at a time. Unfortunately, most women want it to be an equal conversation. If you're saying he did something, then she did something. If you're saying she did something, then he did something. We have to focus on one thing at a time and be accountable. Now, in this clip, this woman is being interviewed and she's having a conversation in regards to her child and her child's father. Now, from what I understand, her child's father is ill and in the hospital. And yet, even though he is ill and in the hospital and her child is 9 months old by this man, she states in this interview that she is looking for a stepfather, just in case. Just in case what, you ask? Just in case something happens to her child's father. Now, some of you guys might look at this as something that may be perceivably okay, but it's not. Not only is it not okay, she said it on a public forum out loud for the world to see. And now, if her child's father sees this, he knows that he's not of any value. Now, the interviewer goes on to double check, make sure for the people in the back, did we hear you correctly? Are you saying you're going to break up with him while he's in the hospital? She says, no, I'm going to keep him. I'm just looking for somebody just in case. You know how it is, right? You always have to have one in the chamber, which means you always need to have a backup plan. And she's saying this to the woman that's interviewing her as if she should know what it is. Like, this is a normal way of thinking, a normal way to move from a woman that is in this particular position. So it made me wonder, is this common conversation between women if something should happen to your man, if you're always planning for the fallout, you're planning for the other shoe to drop? You have to ask yourself, are you really doing your due diligence when it comes to picking your partner if you have to do all of that? Ladies, we have to do better than this. The child comes from our womb. We are choosing the candidate that is going to be responsible for that child's protection and their extensive training or learning, parenting, however you want to look at it. In addition to your contribution, you are choosing the person that is going to put together the other half of your child's identity, in a sense. Why isn't this choice important? Why do you prioritize your wants and your needs ahead of that of your child? I feel like society has messed up how we were supposed to do things, in a sense. We were taught to go out into the world and look for someone suitable for us, when in fact that is all wrong. In today's society, it's typical for a woman to go out into society and start looking for the attributes and characteristics that would benefit or complement and contribute to her life in specific. But when we are children and we're growing up into women, we're not taught what qualities does he need in order to be an efficient father, a consistent father, a dependable father. You are a grown woman. You don't need to be parented. You need a partner and someone to show love and affection and to make you feel protected while you are taking care of your young. But you don't need to be parented. There are so many different areas of your relationship where you can act as an independent and not be guided by your partner. Your children, however, will lean on you every step of the way because a child is in the unknown and they are experiencing everything for the first time with you, so they need to be taught how to navigate these things. And as a mom, if you don't have any particular specialty or expertise or anything specific to contribute to your child, you would want your male counterpart to be well endowed with knowledge, experience, and so on and so forth to kind of hold up the back end in the areas where you aren't as strong, to contribute those assets as far as knowledge and character and identity factors to your child. But because we're not taught to look for him as a father, we look for him as a person to complete the woman, we don't make sure he's everything that's needed. Because we don't make sure he's everything that's needed, and we look at him as just a being to appease us as women, a lot of women view the male presence as something replaceable, as something that's insignificant, as something that does not have value. And for that reason, a woman can go and create a child and just pick up and leave. A person could get married and just pick up and leave. A person could commit and just pick up and leave because she is a grown woman. She doesn't need to be parented. She doesn't need to be provided for. She doesn't need to be taken care of. So it's easy for her to wash her hands of whatever the benefits are and find something to upgrade to because of those lack of requirements within her. But if she starts to think about her child, that's a totally different perspective, totally different way of going about her sense of responsibility, because this child will be in need of their father for the duration. And if you take that seriously, you will choose carefully who that father is. Not only will you choose carefully, but you will have a complete understanding of his importance in your child's life. And because of his importance, you will, once you conceive this child, you will pour every bit of yourself into this child, into him, into your family, and learn to work through the difficult times, learn to have the hard conversations, learn that you cannot just step away and upgrade whenever it's convenient for you, and learn that you can't just switch out your child's influencers and parents. It's too chaotic for them to hang on to their understanding of who they are. When you're switching out and rotating partners out here and there, the child can lose themselves, because when you're a child, you look to the people that resemble you, have hair like you, skin tone like you, to figure out who you are and put these components and pieces of the puzzle in its proper place to learn about yourself. But when it's easy for you to just replace their father and find someone else, and when you get tired of them, switch out for somebody else because you're still looking for someone to satisfy you. You're not thinking about the chaos that you are visiting upon your child. You're not thinking about the influence that you're subtracting from their life. You're not thinking about the contribution and what's going to manifest years from now from your decisions. You are the mother, beloved, and a mother or a woman that actually understands the responsibility and what is expected of you going forward moves in a fashion that suggests she takes it seriously. If you're not ready to put another being before yourself, sis, why have children? Use the protection, use the birth control, be abstinent, practice celibacy, however you need to train yourself to not cause situations to where these babies fall through the cracks. It is sad to me that a woman like this could have her child's father in the hospital, and while he is fighting to get well, you are looking for someone to replace him with because he can't provide for you at the moment. Now, I can already hear women saying maybe she is considering the child. And perhaps she is. But if it's her idea that another man can fill the void for her 9-month-old better than the father, something is wrong with that. If anything, she should be at his bedside with her child, making sure they spend all the time they could possibly spend, especially if there's any reason to suggest he may not make it. You want your child there to absorb every last memory they could possibly have together. Take some pictures if he's well enough to hold the child, get some photos, do whatever you can to make sure he enjoys his last moments. If that is the case in this situation, instead of going online and speaking about him in a way that could cause him more heartache and pain. Ladies, men are people too. They're not replaceable. They're not a material thing. They have feelings. They care about things. They love and they hold their children dear. For a woman to perceive anything like this, or playing games, tricking babies on men, anything of that nature, to be harmless or something that he should not be set back by, put off by, turned off by, angered by, it's insensitive. And for us to be women who are supposed to be so in tune with our femininity and emotions and energy and being able to nurture, we have seriously dropped the ball as it relates to looking at him like he is a person and not someone to just benefit off of. In life, our journey as women is to find an applicable partner so we can start to produce our seeds. And this is part of our journey. And granted, there are some women that don't want children, and that's okay. But for most of us, it is our divine purpose to fulfill this. And if we care about the state of the world, the status of families, and so on and so forth, we will choose our partners wisely, because it doesn't just speak to the contribution into your life, but it speaks to the consistency within your child's life. It helps establish your child's identity, their confidence, their happiness, their sense of belonging. And when you can build something solid for your children, they can go out into the world to become productive members of society. I know some of us have been so much marinated in survival mode that we haven't given much thought to our contribution in society as adults, let alone thinking about how we can contribute to our children to make them a productive member of society, to ensure they are someone to make changes to this life and make the world something different for the better. We don't think that far, but we need to, because us as women, we are the catalysts or the portal to the future. So if we're not going to put the work in to ensure that it comes into manifestation, what is the point? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the portal to destruction. I don't want to be the portal to broken families. I don't want to be the catalyst for disrespect and toxicity and passing through the generations things that are not to my ancestry line's benefit. I want to have a powerful being come through my body that is going to change this life for the better. At the very least, set an example to influence others to do the same. At the very least, be a good father, be a good mother, and be kind-hearted and loving and gentle. Someone who's loyal and sticks to their word and enjoys uplifting others instead of tearing people down. I want the soul that comes through my life to bring change, not conformity, not keeping everybody where they are. I want the power that comes through me to shift things and make people understand things and give people clarity and help people and change the environment. And in order to make changes, there's a lot of people that complain about the world and don't realize that their contribution to changing the world lies here. Lies here. Lies here. We can make a world of difference if we would just care about it and put our energy into the small things, like being loyal to the people you choose so they can do what's right for you and their family. Peace.